It's Tuesday, y'all. Hello, everybody. Hoping that this is working. Showing that I'm frozen up. How is everybody? We are starting, let's see, 9 minutes early because I was having some technical difficulties, and while everything is working, we're going to start. So if you have a few minutes and you want to hang out with us tonight, I would love if you join us. And if you join us, I would love it if you say hello. We're just going to hang out for a few minutes while we get everything going smoothly, I hope. I'm going to pull up my Facebook on my phone, see that we're going. How is everybody tonight? I'm hoping that we're not going to have technical issues with the internet this evening. If you're here, I would love it if you say hello. You have, let's see, 8 minutes. So turn us on, run and go get your snack, go get a drink, get comfy, cover up with a Afghan or a quilt, get all situated because we have a few minutes if you want to get ready. So while we are just waiting for everyone to join us and make sure that we're working, I have a little bit of an announcement. I have 3 people who are waiting for me to accept their request to join our creative crew group. So this is really for the YouTube replay because I have a feeling that they might be watching over there. There's a little security question, and if you answer that, then I can accept you into our group. And there's 3 people who have not answered that little question, and so I haven't been able to join them or to add them into our group. So if you're one of those people and you'd like to join, go back to Facebook and answer that little question so I can add you into our group. A little bit of a security, just like a little, what do we call it, vetting. Just a way to keep real profiles on our page. I don't see where we are streaming. Oh, there we are. Okay. Give me just a second. I want to see if I can maybe follow along with the comments. Hello, Dee and Joyce. I see that y'all are here. Hello to anybody else who has joined in tonight. And let's see, we still have 6 minutes. So we're just going to get all set up and situated. Hello, Bonnie. How are y'all doing this evening? I've had so much fun following along in our group this week. We've had all kinds of interesting stuff posted on our group. It's a nice little break just to be able to follow along on your projects, and we've had all kinds of stuff. Aw, hello, Nana. Nana was what I called my grandmother. Aw, Nana's here. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to follow along in your projects this week. Hello, Cynthia and Rhonda. And also, it's been a lot of fun to see your snacks and your drinks, your favorite drinks that you like to have while you're working. Hello, Diane. How are you? And Mary. Mary, if you are already in our group, then you do not have to answer the security. We just started doing the security question a little over a week ago, but you're already here. So that's null and void to you. It's really for anyone who's been asking to join in the last week and a half. I implemented that about a week and a half ago. My mom is here, and Rachel and Tracy. Diane said she just watched a Christmas stocking video. That was last year's video. Those are so much fun to make, and they look more complicated than they actually are. So I've spent the last couple of days designing new applique patterns for those stockings. They're so much fun to make, and they're really super easy. Rachel's here, and Mandy. Y'all, we still have 4 minutes, so I'm just hanging out and saying hello before we get started. Hi, Angie. If y'all haven't seen this, this is a free little mug rug pattern. I just uploaded a video the other day printing on fabric, and if you haven't gotten this, make sure to go check out that video and download your little copy. They're really cute, printed on cardstock too, and you could just post it on your wall if you don't want to print it on fabric. Let's see, Angie's with us, Jan and Linda. I'm thinking I might be able to keep up with the comments. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to do some switching around of screens while we are getting all situated here. I think I was on the wrong screen. Maybe not. Tracy says she just finished the t-shirt quilt top that she submitted the photo for today. Terry's here, Deb and Mary. I'm so glad y'all are all joining in and following along in our live tonight. We have, Shirley's here. We have 11 show and tell pictures, or different people sharing pictures tonight. And then we have 3 topics. So, lost my track of thought. So I usually like to keep the live for about an hour. It looks like we might go over an hour. So if you have to leave, that's okay. Just say goodbye so we know that you'll catch us later in the replay. As we approach 8 o'clock and before we get started, if you see the little red live button up in the corner of the screen, you're catching us live. So make sure you say hello. And if you are here during the live and I missed your comments, just know that I am not ignoring you. Sometimes I have to really focus on what I'm doing. And I always go back after and catch all the comments and read through all the conversations. So just know that I see you, and I'm so glad you're here, and I will read everyone's comments at the end when we're done. And then I usually follow through the rest of the week because we have oncoming comments throughout the week. And if you don't see the little red live button, then you're catching the replay, but we would still love it if you participate, answer questions, ask questions, read through the comments, and say hello. And if you're watching over on YouTube, then this was a Facebook Live. We would love it if you join us over on the Creative Crew group. There will be a link in the description box below. And feel free to comment because we always come over here and check the comments on YouTube as well. Donna said, hair looking good. Thank you. I need a haircut. Some days I'm like, okay, I'll grow my hair out. And then 2 days later, I'm like, nope, cutting it off. Hello, everybody. Wow, it's so good to see everybody. Yay, I'm so excited y'all are all here with us. All right, we are approaching 8 o'clock. See, my announcement. Make sure to answer the security questions. Mainly this applies to people watching on YouTube, because if you're watching this on the Creative Crew group, you are already in the group. But if you're on YouTube and you want to join the group, make sure to answer those security questions. So I hope y'all are ready for some sharing this evening, because we have quite a few pictures to share this evening. So I'm hoping that I can focus and keep it all in order, and I don't forget to put anything on the screen. So if you've just added anything to our post the announcement at the top of the page in the last 10 minutes. I have not seen it, so I am deeply sorry, but I wanted to connect while the connection was good. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the slideshow. First, I'm going to get a sip of tea because I feel like I'm already out of breath. Debbie asked, where is the printout for the file? Where was the file for the printout of the mug rug? Debbie, that is, if you go to YouTube and you see the video and you open the video, there's a little description box. And sometimes it's a little tricky to find. You're on a mobile device. Look next to the title. There's a little gray arrow. You can miss it if you're not really looking for it. Click on that little gray arrow and a box opens up with all kinds of good information in it. I watched YouTube for years and didn't realize that those boxes even existed. And then if you're watching on a computer, look underneath of the title. There should be a caption that says "See More," or some computers, it's towards the middle of the screen somewhere underneath the title. Click on that and it opens up a box with lots of clickable links. You'll find free patterns. You'll find links to products that people use. You'll find links to groups and blogs and all kinds of stuff. So find that description box and open it up, and there's a link for that free little mug rug. This one. Ta-da! It's so cute. So yeah, go check that out. Darlene, you're not late. We started early getting logistical stuff all set up. So we're actually just now starting with the slideshow. And at any time, if y'all have to leave, you can always catch the replay. The video is going to stay here on our Creative Crew group. And if you want to find it really easy, you can go over to YouTube because I'll post it over there too. So starting with our slideshows for this evening. Debbie, I'll see if I can post a link to that video on our Creative Crew group. That'll be real easy. You just click it. It'll be after we're done this evening. So to start the slideshow, we're going to start with Janine, and she says, well, hold on. See? Focus, Lisa. Let's go ahead and pull up her photo so we can look at it while I'm talking. And I'm going to read this part to you because I think part of the live little notification, if you're watching this live, might cover up some of the words. She said she made these snowflakes out of fabric. They are a bit addicting, making them to decorate our office area at work. The blue and white one is glittery. Found them on YouTube. That looks so complicated. They're made out of fabric? Okay, you're going to have to definitely share a link to the video that you watched here on our group so that we can all find that. And because this looks so complicated, they look like they took you hours to make them. It says they're a bit addicting. I bet they are. Mom, check these out. Maybe this will be something you can add to the poinsettias that you're making. That is so pretty. So do you stiffen them so that they hold the shape? I'm very curious as to the process. That is so pretty. Okay, Janine, I'm looking forward to a video so that we can all learn how to make these. Imagine all the different fabrics that you could use to make these with. And can you use paper or is it just fabric? Here I go with the questions again. I'm so glad you shared those with us. I'm kind of excited to see how to make those. I see lots and lots of conversation going on, but now I'm going to focus on what we're doing so I don't mess up. And I will check out the conversation when we're done. But thank you so much for sharing those. I want to make some. What do y'all think? You want to make some? I bet they are addicting. I bet you start making one, you'll probably end up making a whole Christmas tree's worth. Our second slideshow set of photos is from Marilyn. Let's pull up Marilyn's photo as well. You can tell we're going into the Christmas season, y'all. She says, I do quilt mostly, but venture into other things like sewing, crocheting, and cooking. I'd like to share a fold and stitch centerpiece I made for one of my daughters a few years ago. Look how pretty that is. Y'all are giving me all kinds of ideas. I don't have time for all of these ideas. But I want to make some snowflakes and centerpieces. That is so pretty. I love the little candies in the center too. They go perfectly with that. So I'm wondering, maybe Marilyn, you can share also a video on how to make these. And was this complicated? This looks a little complicated too. That is so pretty. At first, when you shared your photo, I thought it was denim, but looking closer, I don't think that it is, but it looks very denim-like. I love that it's very festive. I bet you could make them with all themes of fabric, couldn't you? And like for Thanksgiving, and I guess you could have done a Halloween one too. Easter. That is so pretty. Thank you so much for sharing, and I hope that you share, type out some instructions or send us to a video link on how to make these in case anybody else wants to make some. That is so fun. Thank you so much for sharing. That looks really complicated. And now I want some chocolate. That's how that goes. Here come some more Christmas photos from Angela. 'Tis the season, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and pull up her photo too. Angela said she is not quilting this week. She's making candle holders for Christmas. Candle holders for Christmas table, easy as to make. Easy to make. So Angela also shared some instructions. So if this goes by too fast and you can't write it down or you don't think you'll remember, she typed this, the instructions out in our post for today's announcement. So you can just flip through until you find her post and they're written there. I'm going to share them on the screen here in a minute. Or you can come back when we're all done and pause the screen and jot down some notes. But first we're going to look at her photos because aren't they so adorable? She said they're easy to make. They're wine glasses turned upside down, made into candle holders. I'm thinking you could find the wine glasses like at the Dollar Tree and make these. Those are so cute. You could put all kinds of stuff down in the little globe part of it. That would be adorable. I hate to take down your pictures so quick, but I want to share your instructions too. And it was quite a bit, so I put it on the right side of the screen. She said you turn a large wine glass upside down and draw around the base cut out with cardboard a 1/4 inch wider than the line. Stick an ornament that fits into this space to this cardboard and add a couple tablespoons of fake snow into the glass, which turns upside down. Make sure not too much snow to spoil the effect. Stick the cardboard to glass. I used hot glue to decorate the base with beads and top with whatever you want. The very top is reserved for the candle. That is so pretty. We're going to pull up your photo one more time. That's very festive. Imagine you could make these as gifts too. That would make an awesome gift. Especially, you know, if you're gifting on a budget. You go to the Dollar Tree and buy the glasses, and they have all kinds of stuff out. I was just at the Dollar Tree the other day, and they have all their Christmas stuff. Before it gets picked through, you can go get yourself some flowers and bows and ribbons and beads. There was lots of fake snow there. Thank you so much for sharing this idea and your instructions. If you make any of these this week, I would love to see your photos. That's a lot of fun. Again, if you missed the instructions on the replay, pause the video and you can jot them down, or you can go to the announcements and she has them all typed out. I just copied and pasted over here. So you can find all the instructions there too. So Melissa's trying to get us all hungry. I just ate dinner. And then I'm going to look at this and probably get hungry all over again. Yes, that is possible. Let me pull up your picture. Melissa is sharing a snack with us this evening, sewing snacks. I generally eat lower carbs and miss regular pizza. I bet you do. So I make these, mozzarella with olives and pepperoni, melted together to make crust. Crustless mini pizzas. That looks delicious. I could probably eat the whole plate. Now, I don't usually do olives, but can you imagine? You could probably put all kinds of stuff on these. Your own, like, customizable little pizza snacks. Don't they look so crunchy and delicious? Melissa, why are you sharing this stuff at 8:14 in the evening, and now I'm going to be hunting for this stuff in the refrigerator when I'm done to make little pizza snacks? I'm so glad y'all are sharing all kinds of stuff with us. It's fun to see these kinds of pictures and creative food ideas, creative sewing ideas, creative glass holder ideas. It's so much fun to look at all the pictures. Thank you, Melissa. I am going to write down this little recipe into my little cookbook and try these out. I should really be watching my carbs too. It's too close to the holiday for me to be watching my carbs, being honest. Maybe I'll start in January. Maybe. Thank you so much, Melissa, for sharing that with us. That looks delicious. I am so full from dinner, and I probably cooked the most complicated thing that I make on a night we're doing the live. But it was so good, and I'm so stuffed. But now I want a snack. So let's take that off the screen before I do actually start getting hungry. We're going to pull up Tracy's picture. She's working on another t-shirt quilt. So let's pull up her quilt picture so that we can look at that at the same time. Tracy says, I'm working on another t-shirt quilt for my nephew. I need to get it done, and also 12 scrub shirts embroidered for my daughter's office before the middle of January, when I have to have total knee replacement. Wow, you are going to be so busy. Did I just read that you finished up that quilt top? So is all this together now? Look, I am so proud of you. You got your little notes on each one of your blocks, keeping track of all of your stuff. You're so organized. I love the layout. It looks like it's coming all together really nicely. This looks like a lot of fun. So this is for your nephew. Is he getting this for Christmas? Or is this like going to be class of 2019? Did he just graduate? I'm sorry, I'm just looking at all the logos. I always find t-shirt quilts so interesting, and I always take my time and like really look at the logos. There's always so many interesting things on t-shirt quilts. That looks like it's a lot of fun. How big is your quilt going to be? Like, what are the measurements? So you're having total knee replacement. My dad just had his knee done a few weeks back now. He's doing so good. And I think that he's going to be really glad that he had it done. He's still doing the physical therapy, but he's getting so much better. And so, yeah, in January, you'll have to keep us posted on your recovery and how everything's going. I think you'll be glad that you did it. Keep us posted on that, okay? And also share pictures of your quilt once you get this all done. We all want to see that. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. Oh, I see. His mom wants it for Christmas. He graduated in May. It's 68 by 84. That's a good size quilt. As a Christmas present. Yep. It's this season. We're all going to be so super swamped in the next few weeks. Let's see. Michelle has a t-shirt quilt too. And we're going to pull that up. I'm going to make your picture a little bit bigger here in just a second, Michelle. Michelle says, a work in progress. I've since already used the trusty seam ripper to fix a couple of spots. T-shirt quilt being made for a friend. He very specifically wanted it a simple rectangle layout and picked the flames and skull border shown. The back of the quilt would be the back of the shirts. So I've got to match up tops and backs. Yeah, that's a lot of work. I can already see ways to improve the next time I work with t-shirts. And we say, center things more. Next step is to add the border and decide how to quilt it. Yes, when you're doing shirts on the front and the back, it's a little bit more work to match everything up, but you totally can do it. I have full confidence in you. Let's make this picture a little bit bigger. Michelle's photo so that y'all can see it. Making it bigger, making it bigger. There, it's a little bit bigger so y'all can see that for a second. I've done a few Harley Davidson t-shirt quilts, and a friend of mine, Miss Roseanne, saved a bunch of Harley shirts that she was collecting and gave them to me. So I have them just waiting for a future quilt when I have spare time. But it's so much fun to look at your quilt. I think he's going to be really, really pleased with that. I like that a lot. We'll bring it back down smaller. I like how you did the little layout. What kind of photo app did you use to do your little layout for your photo? I'm always looking for good apps for my phone. Thank you so much, Michelle. I hope you keep us updated as you're quilting this when you decide how to quilt it, and continue to post photos here on our group. I know that we'd all like to see them. So in case y'all are just joining in or have just joined in the last few minutes, we are doing a slideshow, and I hope you say hello and know that we have lots of conversation going on. I will be joining the conversation when we're done with the live. So y'all feel free to chat and ask questions, answer each other. If you ask me a question, maybe I'll see it, but just know that I'm not ignoring you. Sometimes it takes me a lot to focus on what we're doing. Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing that. Next, we have Linda's picture. Linda says, I made this wall hanging for my granddaughter's 4th grade class. Aww, that is so cute. The children each picked a Dr. Seuss book to read to the kindergarten class. Then I cut and stabilized a square of white fabric for them to draw a picture about the book they had chosen. I'm hoping that we're not frozen. Olivia was so excited when she saw it finished. The smile on her face is priceless. It really is. That is such an awesome idea. So, Linda, I hope that you share with us, what kind of media did you use on your fabric? Was it like fabric markers, fabric paint, fabric crayons? It looks like all of the colors stayed like really perfect. So I would love to know what all you used and let them use to draw the pictures. I bet they love looking at their little art hanging up in the classroom. That is so awesome. Also, the saying in the very middle, what did you do that with? Was that a fabric marker? Did you embroider that? I can't quite tell. So I would love more information about that. Isn't that such an awesome idea? So the yellow fabric, the squares with the yellow background, did they color that all in yellow so it all started white? And the blues? Yeah, I would love to know what you used because the colors are really great. I'm always looking for new kind of ideas to use in my quilts. So I'm hoping that you share what you used. I bet they love their quilts. That's such a great idea. That was so much fun. When my son was in school, actually all 3 of my kids, I have magnets for all 3 of them. The school, you know, gave them a blank square of paper and they drew a little picture of their school and then they turned them into magnets. that was a lot of fun, but I would love a quilt made with their artwork. Okay, now we're going to move on to, thank you so much for sharing that, Linda. That was a lot of fun. I'm hoping to learn the materials that you used. Now we're coming back into some more Christmas goodies from Diane. She said, I'm working on a wall hanging with my HB diamond sewing machine. I am planning to quilt it with the Emil Scott edge-to-edge quilting embroidery designs. The trees were made with varying widths of strips. So I'm curious about these edge-to-edge quilting embroidery designs. Can you share some links with us? I've seen several videos. I know people do it all the time. They use their embroidery machine to actually quilt their quilts, which I think is a fabulous idea. But I haven't actually seen any edge-to-edge quilting embroidery designs that you could like purchase. I know they're out there, but if you can share them, that would make it a lot easier to find them. I love scrappy quilts. What a great way to use your scrap pieces of green to make your little trees. So what are your plans for this quilt, Diane? Are you going to hang this up in your house, or are you giving this away as a gift? And how are you? Oh, yeah, you said edge to edge. I was going to ask, how are you going to quilt it? You already answered that question. That is so cute. So I'm taking a little extra time to look at the photos because I was working today. And so as new things were added to our post, I just quickly grabbed everything and moved it over here and didn't spend a lot of time actually looking at the photos. And so I'm looking at them really well for the first time along with you. So I'm enjoying looking at the photos. Thank you so much for sharing this project. I'm thinking that it's going to give a lot of people some really awesome ideas. And if you share a website or something for the quilting embroidery designs, that would be really awesome. I don't usually get in the Christmas mood after Thanksgiving, but seeing everyone's projects makes me a little bit less of a Scrooge, I think. I start feeling a little Christmassy towards Thanksgiving. All right, Rachel has 2 photos and 2 slides, and so let's see. Let me pull this up. I might have to make Rachel's picture bigger too, so that you can see everything. Rachel says, I am just getting going with my sewing. Love it tremendously. I was inspired by your wonderful videos, Lisa. Aw, thank you so much. My question is about space. I started at the kitchen table, but having to pack up everything. Every meal was rough. I've absolutely, totally agree. It's a lot of work to pull everything out, set it up, get going, and then put it all away. I did it for years before I had a designated space for my sewing stuff. I've created my little corner space and I love it, but I'm not sure I've got room to make a full-size quilt. Does anyone else have space challenges? How do they work around it? I've made all kinds of little things like these placemats. So I'm going to show you her little setup here in just a second. I'm going to make these placemats a little bit bigger so that you can see what she's done. Bear with me for just a minute. I'm going to make these bigger because It looks like you've printed little sayings on fabric. Am I wrong? Did you buy fabric that already has these sayings in it? And if you did, where did you get that from? Or is this something that you printed the little sayings on? So we're requesting lots of information, Miss Rachel. These placemats are phenomenal. I love them. What an awesome job. They are so pretty. So yes, I don't think your challenge is unlike many other people's challenges when it comes to space to work in. And so if you have ideas for how Rachel can set up a smaller space, maybe organizing ideas, you know, I'm all about ideas that, especially if you're sharing a room in your house with your crafting stuff, a room that gets used. You know, they have all kinds of decorative boxes and shelves and stuff where you could put stuff in it. And when you're not using it, it just kind of blends into the room. You have ideas that might be able to help Rachel. I would love it if you share them with her. But yes, I totally know what it's like to have to set up in the morning, do as much as you can, and then tear it back all down before dinner. I think we've all been there at one point or another. So let me show you. Our second photo, because this is actually her little sewing corner. Here's a photo of my corner space. My favorite part right now is the piano bench I made into an open, I think she changed that to pressing pad. It opens up and I get a bit more storage room. Genius. That's exactly what I was just saying. Things that double function. They can be decorative and yet storage. They can be tables yet storage. Yes, I love that. Sorry, I'm just looking at all of your stuff. Whenever somebody shares a picture of their room, I'm always like, ooh, what kind of iron do they have? What's that on their table? What are they using? So I like looking at all this stuff in the photos. I think you have a nice setup. Looks like you have a nice size cutting mat. You have a nice size pressing board. You are all ready to go. I hope you share information on the little things on your placemats with us, Rachel. Did you make that? Did you print it? Did you buy it? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm so glad you're following along in the videos, and that I'm really glad that they've been helpful for you. Certainly, I am not the only creator of videos out there, but I love sharing, and I'm just really glad that they've been helpful. Thank you so much for sharing your room and your photo with us. All right, y'all prepare yourself for cuteness overload. With Dee's little bear picture. I made this for my neighbor's newborn. Also working on items for a neighborhood craft sale in December. Isn't that so cute? First, he looks so cuddly. So, you know me, I'm going to have questions. I've seen lots and lots of embroidery, digitizing files that you can buy like on Etsy with little layouts like this, and then you go in and customize the names and the dates and the weight and all that stuff. Where did you purchase or did you digitize the embroidery on your bear? Also, where did you get your bear? He is so cute. I always think personalized gifts like this make for some of the best gifts that can be given. They're so, so popular. You have a craft sale in December. Are y'all going to be outside? Is it cold where you are? Harlan and I went to a neighborhood craft sale this past weekend. And it was outside. It was a little chilly and the leaves were falling. It was right by the water. They had a fantastic view. It was a lot of fun to go through that. It was a neighborhood like craft sale, just like what you're doing, it sounds like. And we bought a piece of furniture. Only $75. It was a great big piece of furniture that someone had repurposed. It was like an old dresser at one time that's got like a pull down door to it. So that was awesome. And then we bought like some homemade jams. We bought some Christmas presents. I can't say out loud. And what else did we get? I don't know. There was all kinds of awesome stuff there. So I don't know if they allow you to take pictures, Dee, at your craft sale, but I would love to see like the setup and or at least your setup of all your stuff out on display. I did a flea market once. That was so much work. Setting everything up. It takes a lot of work. I haven't done it since. So I hope you do really well at your craft sale. I wish we were neighbors so I could come to your craft sale. I don't know that I'd want to display and sell anything, but I just want to sit and drink coffee and talk. Would that be okay? Thank you so much for sharing pictures of your bear. He looks very, very cuddly. Next, we are going to move to Miss Christie. Okay, so she had a little bit more to say. So I made that bigger. Then we're going to look at her photos. Okay, and she's got 3 photos. We're going to take a look at some fabrics this evening. So thank you so much, Christy, for sharing with us. She said, it's been a while since I had time to work on anything, but I got some fabrics in the mail today. My history teacher and my literature teacher have been so great to me since my mom's passing. I'm making them both quilts for Christmas. You're so sweet, Christy. Haven't gotten all the details worked out because not all the fabrics are in, but here are some. One is the Battle at Gettysburg. One is the Age of Scientific Discovery. And the other is Edgar Allan Poe. My lit teacher is a history minor and history teacher is an English minor. So I can interchange them for both quilts. That's really good. I still have like 5 or 6 ones coming, but I'm excited about these. We're going to look at her 3 fabrics. But Christy, you cannot leave us hanging. When you get your other 5 or 6 different fabrics in, I hope that you share them as they arrive. So, we're going to look at some fabrics. And I made them big because I wanted everyone to be able to see the details in the fabric. So I'm going to disappear for just a minute as we look at her fabrics. So many of you know that I make journals, junk journals, all kinds of journals, and I love maps. I love fabric with maps on it. And isn't this just so interesting? So I don't quite recall if you said where you got your fabrics from, but maybe adding a link on our page would be helpful in case anybody wants to grab any of these fabulous fabrics. How awesome would a journal be? A journal cover made with this fabric. That would be so pretty. Or even this fabric here. I imagine there is so much you could do with this fabric. No kidding, you got stopwatches, microscopes, magnifying glasses, light bulbs. I cannot wait to see what you're going to do with this, Christy. There are so many different things you could do. I would love to know where you got this from. And then this, I imagine, is your Edgar Allan Poe fabric. And I say that because of the crows. But I am in love with the text on the background. I'm all about some text in my fabrics. I love doing stamping with a text background. This would be lovely in a journal too. I just want to sit here and look at the fabric. You haven't lost me. So I'll make that a little bit smaller. So as always, Christy, you know I have more questions. I hope that you share your projects, your quilts. And can I just say, how lucky are your teachers that they're getting handmade quilts for Christmas? I mean, wow. That is pretty awesome. So I know you'll be really excited whenever I make a quilt to give away. I always get so excited. I can't wait for the reaction. I hope you share all of that good stuff with us, Christy. And links for the fabrics, maybe, if you still have them. Or maybe if you let us know a website, we could go check it out ourselves. But those look like some really fun fabrics for journals. Love making journals. So y'all, we had a lot of stuff to share in the slideshow tonight. Thank you all so much for sharing your projects, for sharing your ideas, for sharing your time with us. I appreciate it so much. I know everyone enjoys looking at all the photos. Makes for a great break in our week just to get inspiration from what everybody else is doing. So again, just a huge thank you to everyone who has shared with us. And if you're interested in sharing next week, make sure to just comment on the announcement. I'll post it first thing Tuesday morning. And you can comment right in the announcement and share your picture there, and I bring it over in our slideshow. And it's a lot of fun to look at your pictures. So we had more show and tell photos than we have topics for this week. Last week it was the other way around. Let's see, where am I at? So, Christy says she will answer all the questions. Okay, good. Ooh. So, we are going to move on to the topics. How is everybody doing? Are we still going okay? Looks like we're going okay. It's always kind of hard to tell. All right, so our topics this evening, we have 3, but some of them we have several pictures to look at for each one of our topics. And then I have an easy challenge for us to do this week again. And I'm thinking everyone is so busy with all these Christmas projects, it's probably best to keep these challenges easy. Like last week, it was just a sharing challenge. That's what we're doing again this week. All right, topics. So our first topic for this evening, as we open up to this section of our live, is from Janine, let me just tell you, you are getting into some really exciting stuff. A whole world of possibilities is getting ready to open to you. She says, thinking about thread painting, just stumbled over some info on that and researching. Lisa, have you ever worked with that at all? Yes. Does anyone have any pointers or a good place to start? So this is just a call to action. Hold on one second. I can comment, but I still cannot see any other comments on my iPad. Diane, I'm not sure how to use an iPad. Anybody else using an iPad? Sometimes if you just leave our group and maybe turn off your app for Facebook and then come back into Facebook and rejoin the live, sometimes that helps on a regular, like a Android device. Maybe it'll work for an iPad. I hope. So, a call to action. If anyone does any thread painting work, if you can share your ideas in the comments section, or this week, if you can share some pictures of stuff that you have thread painted so that Miss Janine can check out your photos. I have a few things to share with you. None of it is my stuff because I couldn't find anything of mine. I haven't made a lot of projects with it, with thread painting, but I do it just as like a relaxing thing for me to do. And I don't know that I've gotten good enough to actually do projects with it. And I think it's going to be something that requires quite a bit of practice. But oh my goodness, it is so much fun. So if you can share your ideas with Janine, I have a couple places that you might want to start. And of course, you know, one of the first recommendations that I always give is YouTube. So I went over to YouTube, and I'm sorry, these photos are going to be small because I wanted to include the titles of the videos in the photos. But here's 3 thread painting videos. If you type in the search button on YouTube, thread painting with a sewing machine. If you do thread painting by itself in the search button, there's this new painting technique that you dip the thread in paint or ink and sandwich it and pull it out and it makes like a flower. A lot of those videos come up. So if you search thread painting with a sewing machine, pages of videos come up. I've watched all 3 of these videos, so I know that they're really helpful. And I wanted you to see, there's a little thumbnail, you get a glimpse of what the video is about. But if you come back on the replay and you can take some notes if you can't jot this down, Nancy Prince intro to thread painting video, Starry Night thread painting art quilt. That video is so much fun to watch. She actually has her domestic sewing machine on a frame. And she moves the whole machine back and forth with her hands. And she does that. And it's so much fun to watch. But then there's this other video, setting up your sewing machine for thread painting. That's really helpful too. And they just walk you through how to get your machine set up so that you're ready to go. There's all different kinds of ways you could do it. It's kind of like free motion quilting. You'll lower your feed dogs or cover your feed dogs. Some people do it with a darning foot. I've seen several videos where they remove the presser foot altogether. I've done that with my Singer patchwork machine. Works great. So there's so many different ways you can do it. And different threads you can use, embroidery threads, cotton, poly, all kinds of threads to use. Yes, you're getting into some really exciting stuff. So the quilt show is the channel, intro to thread painting. Starry Night, that video is by Superior Threads. and setting up your sewing machine for thread painting, is that channel is Thread Painted Art by Bridget O'Flaherty. I think that's how you say the last name. But yes, that's just 3 of them. There's pages of them. You'll never be bored again. And that's just one thing you can do with your sewing machine. One thing I say, and I really truly believe this, an artist should never ever have a moment where they are bored. There's just so many genres of things to do. And in each genre of crafting, there's thousands of ideas to do. So yes, this is just 3 videos that came up that I've watched before that I thought I would share with you as a place to start. However, one of our members here on our group has shared a picture. Let me pull that up. So, Debbie shared a picture of some thread painting that she's done. She said she took a class. It was so easy once you make the first few passes. It was a small project. I used the technique on some of my quilts. It's free motion and the movement is like coloring in a coloring book. We used different fabric for the different elements, sort of like applique. Yes. I have probably confused you. I think if she watches some videos, then she'll know exactly what you're saying. It's hard to explain. Hopefully Lisa will explain it better. Probably not. I probably can't explain it any better than that, Debbie. You can use it with fabric, or you can do everything by thread and color in the whole thing with thread. Adding fabric is just another element of design that you can do with thread painting. So there's so many different things you could do. But isn't that so pretty? So this was a class that you took. That's so much fun. I want to take a class. Anybody local doing a class on this, I would love to attend your class. That's so much fun. I'm so glad you sent an example that we could look at from here in our group. Thank you so much, Debbie, for sending that in. See, that looks like so much fun. My thread painting projects have been nothing like that. But I would love to get like that. We all start somewhere, right? So that was Debbie's example, and then I went on to Google. So none of these photos are mine, y'all. I just Googled thread painting with a sewing machine and found some other example pictures that we're just going to look at real quick. It's purple. Isn't that so pretty? You have all the different shades of green thread in there. You have different shades of purple. I imagine there's some fabric in the background. Isn't that just so gorgeous? It's so pretty. I want to be like this one day. That is gorgeous. So that's one example. Here's an up-close picture at this person is using a darning foot. However, like I mentioned before, I've seen videos where they just remove the foot completely. But you can kind of see the stitching. She's making flowers. It's a lot of fun. There's so many different ways that you can do it. Some people use a water soluble on top. I think most people don't use that though, but you can. Here's one of a little birdie. Isn't that so cute? These videos, I'm telling you now, I hope you have some time when you sit down and actually start watching these videos, because they're so fascinating to watch. I mean, if you're like me, they're fascinating to watch. And they just start out with nothing, and it, just like Debbie said, it's like coloring with your sewing machine. And the fabric is your canvas and the thread is your paint, and you're just drawing and coloring in with different threads. It is a lot of fun. I'm so glad you asked about this question for a topic, because I imagine there's a lot of people who are really new and haven't even heard of thread painting yet, and so this is just an introduction to some of the things that they can do with their sewing machine. I love it. I want to do more of it. Maybe we can start doing more videos like that too. So Janine, I hope that Anya says, isn't this like embroidery? It is embroidery, except you're doing it yourself with a domestic sewing machine, and you're moving the fabric and doing all of the stitches yourself. You can kind of see in this photo the yellow little ring. Some people use a hoop and slide that right in underneath of their pressing foot, and then you can hold on to the hoop and move your fabric and draw that way. Some people do it without a hoop and just move their fabric that way. But yes, it's embroidery, except it's I want to say it's done by hand. Done with your embroidery with your sewing machine, but you're moving and doing the drawing yourself. It's so much fun. Go watch some videos. And then if you try it, share your pictures with us. It's a ton of fun. I could probably go on about that for another hour or so. Okay. I won't go on for another hour or so about it though. But yes, go check out some YouTube and then Google it. But make sure to type in the sewing machine thread painting, because like I said, when I did both Google and YouTube with just thread painting, that new technique with the thread dipped in paint comes up, and then you have to filter through all that. Which, that looks like a lot of fun too. All right. So for our second topic, while you're here, Anya has, okay, she needs some creative ideas, y'all. And so I'm going to put this up on the screen, and maybe y'all can share some ideas with her. She says, I feel like I'm all out of creativity. Well, I would say after making all of those things for the bedrooms and your curtains and getting your room set up, that probably took a lot out of you, and setting up your house. I've got a project in mind, but just can't get a start on it. I want to make 6 items for my 4 nieces, nephews, and my 2 children. The idea is that they all have the kind of the same item, and that they can think of each other when they use it, as they are spread across Europe and here. Okay, so this is where she's starting at right here. 2 of my nieces and nephews are older, around the 20-year mark, and the other 2 are 1 and 5 years old, and my kids are 2 and 4. So there's big age differences. She wants to make something that's kind of the same, but applicable to all of them. Of course, they all have different interests and stuff. I was thinking quilts at first, but try sending 4 quilts to Europe. I bet that costs a lot of money. So maybe something smaller like a teddy, but then the older ones probably won't like that very much. Then I was thinking maybe a filled globe with a picture of them where they live, but then I am not sure what size to make this with the picture squeezed in, where to get the globe fabric so I can shape a globe, etc. So here I am not knowing what to do. If any of you have ideas, please help me out. So I have just a couple of ideas, and all of my ideas tend to always be the same. I'm going to share them with you here in just a second. But if you have ideas for Anya that you can share with her, something that a 20-year-old would like, but also a 2- and 4-year-old would like, I'm sure that she can make differences between them, but something that's kind of the same so that, like she said, when they use it, they all think of each other. So let me pull that off the screen. I have a couple of ideas. And maybe this will be good, and maybe I don't know where that picture went. Okay, my first idea. I'm thinking one of my pictures got messed up. My first idea, because I love to make journals, you could make a journal for each one of them, but yet customize it age accordingly. So your nieces and nephews that are older, you can add pages that relate to the interests that they have. But for your kids and for the younger people that you're making stuff for, you could use like storybook pages in it. You could do blank pages that they could color on. You could go to the Dollar Tree, and in the Dollar Tree they have the office supplies, and then they have the teaching supplies there. They have those blank tablets with the wide ruled blank pages where you could practice your handwriting. You could fold those up and do a whole section in a book like that. They could practice writing, they could draw, all different kinds of, you could go to the thrift store and buy children's books and use the pages out of those to make your own little books for them. There's my first idea. And of course, you know, for the older ones, you could actually make a journal that they could use. So they all have journals that are handmade by you, but they're each one made custom for each one of them. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to start losing my voice. So that's my first idea. My second idea, let me pull that up on the screen. So you mentioned a quilt. How about this could fit in a small flat rate envelope, but a small wall hanging quilt, something like this. Pardon me. I'm going to start losing my voice. Not necessarily a vintage looking quilt, but as an example, a small little quilt, and you could put pictures on it. And you could do fabrics that have, like, let's say your kids are into Power Rangers. You could do Power Ranger fabric on their quilt, little wall hanging. But the older ones, let's say they're into traveling, you could do some of the fabric like we saw earlier that has maps and stuff on it. All different kinds of ways you could customize a little small quilt. And this is so small that you could wrap it up and send it for very cheap, because it doesn't weigh a lot either. But you could do photos on it, and they could see, you know, their cousins or who all ever pictures you want to put on there. But yes, that is another thing that you could do. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused because I have this listed twice. The next is a pillow. Now, of course, You could put their names on it. You don't have to make it look cartoony for the older people that are getting the pillows, but you could still put their name on it, and whatever they're interested, you could applique on the front of the pillow. And then you don't have to send the pillow stuffed. You could tell them to stuff it when they get it if you're sending it far, far, far away. So that's just another custom idea that you could do for everybody. And you could customize it according to their age and the different things that they like. Favorite colors, you could make it out of fuzzy fabric, all kinds of stuff you could do. So those are my 3 ideas. But I'm interested in knowing ideas that other people are sharing too, and I want to sit here and read them, but I'm trying to stay focused. So there's a starting point, Anya, and I'm hoping that you get some really great suggestions from our group as well. And I hope you keep us updated on what you decide to go with and share pictures with us, because you know we want to see. Okay. Oops, go back, Lisa. Okay. Our last topic is from Miss Mary. Look, she's making a little apron. Isn't that so cute? Oh, I just now noticed, because I haven't looked at these pictures before tonight that much. I just noticed the little scissor pocket up at the top. Eee, that's so cute. Okay, she says, I'm trying to finish up my patchwork apron, and I found that I did all of the quilting as you would with a quilt, meaning I planned on adding a binding. I wish I had my mints with me. She says, oh no. My question would be, how would I do the loops for the straps? What if I added D-rings to the little stubby loops? Do you think that would work? Thanks in advance. So if you have ideas for Mary on how she can add the little loops. So when I made my apron, I did the quilting before adding the backing. So if you've seen that video, I just had my apron top and the batting, and I did the quilting and then turned that pretty side down onto the pretty side of the backing and sewed all the way around. So there was no binding on my apron. On hers, she made all of her layers just like you would with a quilt. She quilted it and then put a binding. That's so much work. You did so great. She added a binding to hers, and now she's wondering how to add the loops. So I'm thinking, if you have ideas for Mary, I would love it if you share them. I have ideas, and I'm not quite sure if they would work or not, and I'm not sure how neat and tidy it would look, but you could make the loops like I did in the video and turn the raw edges under and just do some tack stitches so they stay like that. And then you might have to pin or clip them in place. Here's your apron. Here's the front and here's the back. Here's your little loop. Put it just like this. So it's like that. And then stitch it like that. I hope that's not too confusing. And I don't know how neat that would be. It might be neat, but it might be a quick way to add the little loops. And maybe somebody else has some ideas too. When I originally was making the pattern for this apron, I thought about D-rings, but I've never added D-rings to a project before, and I was like, I was unsure. And I wanted it to be something that I could explain with confidence in my video. But I don't see why you could not add D-rings to it. I don't know. What do y'all think? How could she add the little loops so that she could add her straps? Because see, our straps and loops, they were all done before, as when we sewed all of our layers together. They were stuffed inside, and when you turned everything right side out, they just sort of popped out and were sewn in. Mary, I'm thinking that I might be able to explain that better, like through photos, like if I took a photo of what I'm trying to say. I don't know that I'm saying it exactly the way that I have it pictured in my head. If you don't get any suggestions, then send me a message, because I'll just use some scraps and just show you with a picture what I'm trying to say. But I don't even know that that would work or be exactly the prettiest thing in the world. And I would hate for you to do something that's not as pretty as what your apron is already. So if you have ideas for Mary, I hope that you share them. Or, you know, also on our page, if you've done anything like that, you have a project like an apron that has a binding and then you add straps, can you take pictures of it and share it on our group page? I think that would be really helpful. Dan says, put the loops to the apron and pin it to the apron, then put the binding on, then stay stitch it open. I'm wondering, I can't tell, is your binding already on your apron? It looks like you have some suggestions coming in about how to do that, and they're probably better than what I said. So, Mary, if you're here, you can check out the comments, and if you're watching the replay, make sure to check the comments, because I do see some coming through with some suggestions. Okay? And I hope that that's helpful for you. And that's our last topic. So we're going to stay around for a few minutes because I have a challenge to share. So if you have suggestions on Mary's questions or any of the other things that we've talked about tonight, you still have some time to type them out, because we're going to talk about a challenge for this week. Can y'all believe it's November? November the 5th. It's not just the 1st of November, it's already the 5th of November. Oh my goodness, this year has just flown by. So Mary, I'm hoping you get some help that you need. And if not, by posting on our group. And I'm thinking you'll get some help. So that was our last topic. We're going to move to our challenge screen. Diane says, can the loops be put on just like the denim belt loop on the front? That's kind of what I was thinking too. I know I would not be able to do that very neatly. So that's my concern. Is how neat can you make it? I'm sure if you take your time, you could do it so that it's a nice little neat finish. When I do stuff like that, it tends to be a little messy. Oh, add the straps with suspender type clips. Yes, they have those at Joann's. I had looked at those when I was in the designing phase of that apron. That's a really good idea. Okay. So yes, as we are entering into November, where is it? Yeah, okay. As we're entering into November, time to reflect on the things that we're thankful for. Actually, I try to keep this frame of mind all the time, but even more so during the holidays, because you know the holidays can be so exciting. But sometimes, you know, if you're going through a loss, or if you're grieving, maybe there's some life changes that you're going through. Maybe there's a lot of stress at work. Maybe there's a lot of stress in the family. Maybe there's stress with your friends. Maybe money is an issue. Maybe the lack of work is an issue. Maybe, you know, you just deal with anxiety and depression. And the thought of the holidays approaching, for some people, instead of being filled with joy, you know, they can experience sadness, you know, anxiety, all kinds of stuff with the holidays approaching. So I like to, like I said, I try to keep this train of thought all through the year. But going into the holiday season, I think on purpose, we have to focus on our thoughts and work hard at finding things to be thankful for. So that's really where this challenge comes from. And I just pull that up on the board. So this week is a sharing challenge. We're going to find 5 things. Some of you could just probably go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things that you're thankful for. And some of you might have 3 things that you, off the top of your head, you're really thankful for. And some of you, you know, at different times of our lives, sometimes it's a struggle to find one thing. But if you think on purpose, you know, today I woke up and that's something to be thankful for. I have a roof over my head. I have this group of friends. I have a place to find inspiration. I have a place to find help, you know. 5 things that we're thankful for. You're going to write this on a Post-it note or a little index card or a scrap piece of paper. Maybe you'll write it on a scrap piece of fabric. You're going to post that where you see it, where you spend the majority of your day. And I said workstation, but you could post it on your sewing machine if you're going to spend a lot of time there this week. Maybe post it on your fridge if you spend a lot of time in your kitchen, like I do. Maybe post it on your nightstand so that you see it first thing in the morning. That might be a great way to shape your thought process for the day. You know, negativity is really funny because it's so easy to start off your day thinking about the things you're dreading to do. And before you know it, you're in a horrible mood and it's not even, you haven't even been awake for 10 minutes. Maybe that's just me. But on purpose, I have to purposely change my thought process. And so maybe put it next to your bed so that you see it first thing in the morning. But wherever you put it so that you see it and are reminded, take a photo and share that to our group. I think that would be an awesome sharing challenge for this week. Just preparing us as we approach the holiday season. What do you think about that challenge? I think this is a good one. I think, like I mentioned, the holidays can be really fun, can be really exciting. I guess maybe depending on the year. Maybe last year was really exciting, and for some reason this year you're not really looking forward to Christmas for whatever reason. Maybe all of your Christmases have been really fantastic, and this will just be a reminder next year. You know, you don't know. no matter what, I don't think it would be a bad idea to focus and reflect on some things that we're thankful for, especially as we approach Thanksgiving. So, I think that's our live for this evening. And actually, wow, we've been on for almost an hour and a half. So if you've stuck it out all this time, just thank you so much for staying with me. And if you had to leave, I hope you are checking out the replay, and thank you for coming back. You're watching on YouTube. I really hope that you share in the discussion and answer questions or ask your own questions down in the comment section, because we do come and check that out. And I know not everybody wants to join Facebook or can join Facebook, and so I'm really glad that we're able to share these videos over here on YouTube too. So again, I'm thankful for all of you and for everyone who watches along in our live video, and for sharing photos, for asking questions. I'm really thankful for the sense of community that we have here. Yeah, I think that's 3 things right there. So I'll take a picture of mine. I haven't made it yet, but wherever I post mine, I'll take a picture and share it with you this week. And I hope you all have a fantastic week. I've enjoyed spending some time with you. I cannot wait to go back and check out all the conversation. And again, just thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have an awesome, awesome week. Can you do a live stream on YouTube, Lisa? Okay. Sandy, I've been working up my nerve for the last 3 days to do a YouTube live. I have a video in mind for the mystery quilt. It's going to be giving out fabric requirements and stuff. And I'm like, Lisa, you can do this. You can do a YouTube live video. I'm going to do it during the day when everybody's at work. For my first YouTube live, I think that's the perfect idea. But I have some information for the mystery quilt, so I think that'll be a perfect like 10-minute live video, which is a great introduction video for me to go into doing YouTube live. You can do it. Oh, I don't know why that makes me so nervous. This makes me nervous on Facebook. But now I have like 40,000 subscribers. Not saying that they'd all tune in. I think most of them came from my countertop video. And I don't even do that kind of video on a regular basis, but I don't know that they'd all tune in. But I think I would probably get more than 50, maybe, I don't know. But just the thought of that has me so petrified. And so, yeah, I've been working my nerve up to do the YouTube live. And I've had it on my calendar every day to do it, and I keep finding excuses not to do it. So you have sort of brought up like I'm convicted about that because I keep putting it off. But that's going to be my first YouTube live video, and depending on how it goes, I might start doing them. I will be honest, I love doing the live videos here because I like sharing your stuff, and I don't know how I would do that over on YouTube. This kind of genre of like show and tell kind of stuff. But if I were just to turn on the camera and start talking about something without, you know, stuff to share, I don't know. Yeah. I'm working towards it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm going to do my first one during the day. I'm hoping everybody's at work and they'll watch it on the replay. I'll tell you my biggest fear before we go. It does feel very personal here. My biggest fear is that I'll get some somebody who has nothing else better to do than to sit there and say rude comments or nonsense or cussing up a storm. And I'm trying to do a live video about something, and I don't have someone to monitor that, and trying to focus on the content and then have that going on too is probably one of my biggest fears, other than 1,000 people watching you at one time. So if anyone wants to be a moderator, hit me up. I did watch some videos this week on moderating YouTube live videos. So I've been researching this for some time. But just the thought of it breaks me out like in hives. I start getting all itchy. Workers have their phones. Oh my gosh. First of all, my job, if I had my cell phone while I was working, I'd get in big trouble. So, who watches YouTube live videos when they're supposed to be working? I mean, I do, because I'm working by myself. No, I can't do it during the day while everybody else is at work. The trolls. Yeah, YouTube can be harder. Ooh, Melissa said I can learn to be a moderator. Yay. Dan says we can monitor this while you're on live. Yeah, it's something that I've been putting off. But we all have areas to grow. So that's my biggest one right now. And I need to stop making excuses. All right, so I cannot wait. Do it in the middle of the night. Yes. But then, like, isn't Australia and all the UK, like, I don't know what time it is there. I will make a million excuses. So, yeah, I'm going to figure out the best time to do it when the least amount of people can watch. And y'all can watch the replay. All right, I am off for this evening. I'm going to go watch or go look at all of your comments and conversations. Again, thanks for everybody sharing. I'm so glad I had time to spend with you. I guess I'll see you all on our page, and I look forward to all the sharing of your little notes for our challenge this week. So, let me find my button here. Jump into the deep end. I'm going to work on that. All right, you guys, I hope y'all have a fantastic evening. I'll see you all tomorrow over on our page. Good night, everybody.